Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. My name is Jessica Schreiber. I am one of the agency managers here at NICE, and we are going to do LIS knowledge and how that can equal more sales for you guys. So today we're going to go over what is LIS, the qualifications for it, what are the income and resource limits, the drug cost by level, how you help your clients apply for it, and how it can help you make sales. So what is LIS? Low Income Subsidy, which is also known as Extra Help, is a federal subsidy program that helps low-income Medicare-eligible consumers save money on their prescription drug costs. Now, there are 4 levels of LIS. There's 100%, 75, 50, and 25. You may hear them referred to as level 1, 2, 3, and 4. To qualify for a low-income subsidy, you must have Medicare Part A and B, you must be a U.S. resident, and you must meet the resource and income limits. And you'll see on the side of your screen, we have found an example of a form that you can use to kind of determine whether or not they would meet the requirements. It will ask for stuff like resources, and what they utilize as resources are real estate, bank accounts including a checking and savings, stocks, bonds, U.S. saving bonds are included in that, mutual funds, IRAs, and then any cash at home or anywhere else that they may have. Now, what does not count as a resource is your primary residence, your personal possessions, vehicles, anything that you cannot convert to cash easily, such as jewelry or home furnishings, property you need for self-support, like rental properties, non-business properties essential to your self-support, life insurance policies, burial expenses, any interest earned on the money plans you're going to use for those burial expenses, and the list goes on from there. And if you want a full list, you can always contact us and I can get that over to you. So the yearly gross income for an individual is $17,820. If they're a couple, it would be $24,030. That breaks down into a monthly gross income for an individual, $1,485. For a couple, it would be $2,003. The resource limits for an individual are $13,640, and for a couple, it's $27,250. So here we wanted to show you what the drug costs will break down to. You see they have it as LIS 1, 2, 3, and 4. By doing that, you can see how they are breaking down and what your clients would be paying if they had 100%, 75, 50, or 100, or 25, excuse me. It would depend on generic versus brand. So a nice way, if you can remember these numbers, a nice way to bring it up when you're talking to clients is asking them how much they pay for their prescription drugs. If they say $8 or $3, then you know that they have some level of LIS helping them currently. So how does somebody apply for LIS? There are 3 ways to help your clients apply. You can go online at www.ssa.gov. It is administered through the Social Security Administration, so they would apply through Social Security. And it's Social Security that determines the consumer's qualifications and eligibility levels. You can do it by phone, and then there's a paper application as well that you would mail in. Okay, so how do we create a sale from this LIS knowledge? So LIS programs cover costs related to Medicare Part B. Any premium subsidy will refer to the Part D cost. By understanding that and understanding that Medicare Advantage breaks their premiums into a Medicare side and a prescription side. The subsidy will cover the prescription side. So you can get them discounts by saving the money on those premiums. You can open up opportunities for referrals because you took the time to help them through the process of getting on LIS, and that, you know, really will resonate with your clients and being able to trust that you're going to treat a person they refer to you with the same, you know, professionalism and the same care that you did for them by walking them through the process, because it's definitely a scary process for someone who doesn't really understand or doesn't know exactly what this could do for them. Just as some examples, for the United Healthcare Plan 3, that will, a full LIS client, that'll drop that premium down to $46.50. So that's a big savings for, you know, a really nice plan with all kinds of bells and whistles for them. Another way that this will help you create a sale is it opens up an SEP opportunity for you. LIS is a great way not only to help your clients but build your business during lock-in. When you have a client that qualifies, it opens up an SEP for them to select a plan or enroll into a new one. You will notice the election period booklet that there are two different SEPs for LIS. One is for gaining LIS and one is for losing LIS. So you have an opportunity whether they are able to get on it or if something has changed in their situation and they have to leave it. I want to also remember that you have to apply for LIS every year, or they have to reapply every year to make sure that they are getting the best amount of coverage they can in case their situation has changed. Another important thing to think about is turning a bad lead into a sale. You know, how often have you come across leads that don't meet qualifications for dual plans? You know, you do a dual mailer, you send out the lead, it comes back, and you find that a lot of them don't have the right qualifications. They don't meet the income level requirements. Well, just because they don't meet those requirements doesn't mean you can't get a sale out of that still. You could help them apply for LIS options and see what they can get out of that. That opens up an SEP for them again, and you have just turned that bad lead that didn't qualify for a dual plan into a new lock-in business sale for yourself. You know, it's always good to make sure that you have those abilities and those opportunities of taking that sort of negative and turning it into a positive. When you are talking to your clients, just as a little note for you guys, the better way to talk about LIS is using extra help. It definitely sounds less abrasive than low income, and most clients are going to be much more willing to discuss extra help rather than a low income subsidy with you. Extra help is a better spin on it, and people are always looking to gain things rather than admit that they need help. So extra help sounds a lot better to your client. Now, another thing you want to keep in mind is that you can be a full LIS and still be eligible for Medicaid. So that is where you're going to want to look at dual, not just premium discounts, because it's going to probably be a better plan. If anyone has questions on that, please let me know, and I can help walk through those questions. Now, I wanted to take some time and see if you had any questions at this point. You know, please submit them through the chat. Okay, one question that we got in is how long does it take for someone who is applying for LIS to get an answer as to whether they qualify? Usually clients will hear back between 2 and 3 weeks after an application is submitted, whether they qualify or not. So sometimes what you would want to do is if you do have some T65 prospects that you are talking with and they might be eligible, have them apply when you first start talking to them. And as that is going through, it might still be in there before they actually turn 65. So their LIS would then start simultaneously with their Part B. Another question we have is, what are the income qualifications for extra help? So the income limit for extra help on a yearly basis is $17,820 for an individual, $24,030 for a couple. Do you have a web link that we can check the level of LIS of the client? If you go on to benefitscheckup.org, that will give you a ballpark to see if they are a qualifier or not, because you put in some basic information there, and it will come up with different options of what they would qualify for. So that is always a good resource to kind of check out ahead of time if you have the information. If your client might be a little hesitant to just submit an application for LIS directly to see if they qualify or not, you can always go on there and check it out just to see. It would give you a better idea. Again, that site was benefitscheckup.org. I usually apply with my clients. It only takes about 9 minutes. Is it okay to do that? Absolutely. You always, if you guys are able to apply online and kind of get feedback there, you can absolutely do that. I suggest that you definitely want to walk your clients through the application in case there are any questions. You want to make sure that they know that you're a resource for them and you can kind of guide them through that process. It's going to help them feel much more comfortable in doing certain things and give you kind of a leg up. When you start presenting plans or different things, they're going to trust you a little bit more than just sort of going in cold. I know that that applying online is probably the preferred way. I think you get an easier response at that point. If you have that ability, I would suggest doing that first, if at all possible. If you don't have a internet connection or an internet availability at the time, that's when I would either call in or use the paper application. It doesn't look like I have any more questions coming in, so if you guys do have a lot of questions or have anything that you want clarification on, please, contact me. My information is on the screen. I want to thank you all for joining us. I know this was a little bit short and sweet, but like I said, any questions, please send them over. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.